Welcome to Oulton Park, home of the prestigious Gold Cup since 1954, an event dominated by Sir Stirling Moss for 5 straight years. But who will conquer this parkland beauty today? It's time for Grand Prix Legends live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Peter Mackay, and I am privileged to be joined in the booth by the better half of Double Scotch, Ryan Walker. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, using camera angles perfected by Dougie Beard. Now, Oulton Park is one of the gems of a circuit that we have here in the United Kingdom, and here's our GSRC track guide to tell you a bit more about it.
Welcome to Oulton Park Circuit. This British track to the southeast of Liverpool is a staple in the UK club racing scene, but has also hosted series as high level as Formula One a few times, at least with a small asterisk next to those events since they were non-championship rounds. The history and the lore of the venue is as unique as the layout itself. But that layout is more than just the international circuit this place is known for. An incredible 8 different versions can be run, but they all range between 1.5 to 2.5 miles in length. It's not exactly a long lap around here. What it lacks in that realm, it more than makes up for in bumps and hills. On top of that, Oulton Park offers some very fast corners, so you certainly won't get bored. Turns like Island Bend, Knickerbrook, and Druids can be utterly fearsome depending on which chicanes are at it. But even the slower corners often involve blind crests or kinked entries, making passing a very difficult prospect. In modern day, the place is mainly visited by touring cars, GT cars, motorcycles, and Formula 3. But here on iRacing, it's quite popular with the vintage community. Needless to say, this is a track that carries on the British tradition of fast, old-school style circuits that challenge and thrill drivers. It'll no doubt be a blast for both our competitors and fans today.
They are then. Welcome back to this beautiful leafy venue here in the heart of Cheshire near a little village called Little Budworth. This is an absolutely superb facility. Ryan, a very happy new year to you. Great to be back for another week here in the Lotus 49 Grand Prix Legends series. What have our drivers got up against them today here at Oulton Park?
Yeah, happy to New Year as well to you, Peter, and yeah, it's good to be back. And yeah, like you say, this track is located close to the town of Little Budworth in Cheshire. And yeah, this the nature of the track is really tight. You've got high speed corners, you've got slow speed corners, you've got some medium speed corners. So this track's got a bit of everything, and it's really tight. And something these drivers will need to keep a lookout for as well, especially in the early stages with such a big crowd on track today. And yeah, this track is 2.6 miles in length for 4.3 kilometres, if you prefer to use that. And yeah, I think the name of the game today is going to be patience, timing your moves, and yeah, I think this is going to be a great race.
It certainly will be. It's going to be a challenge for the drivers. A very bumpy and undulating circuit here at Oulton Park. But let's have a look at the championship standings. Let's see how we're looking so far. It's been a good start to the season so far from Mick Claridge, a perfect 100 points, with Michel Durignon just 10 points behind. Rob Olenek back in third, 40 points in arrear, with Chris Murakami in fourth overall, with Ovi Trengrade in fifth. And we know Ovi has a little bit more pace than his fifth in the championship suggests. It hasn't quite had the rub of the green. But Ryan, how's the F2 championship looking at this point?
So yeah, the F2 Championship is still really close at the moment, but that's currently being led by Germany's Andre Schumacher in first. But Chris Hengler, another German driver, is only 6 points behind him, so it's all to play for at the top. But rounded out the top 3 from the United States is Will McDonald, with another American driver, Andrew Eng in fourth, with Finland's Jan Lehmann rounding out the top 5. So the F2 Championship still close at this early stage of the season and still all to play for.
Indeed, and finally, let's look at the Nations Cup here in the Grand Prix Legends series, and it's by virtue of Mick Claridge's dominant start to the season. United Kingdom leading by 100 points, France just 10 points in arrear, followed by the United States, Germany, and Norway as well. So as you can see, the drivers are out on circuit right now, laying down their qualifying times. The drivers have 2 flying laps on a solo qualifying session, so they're all in their own private sessions, and then the lap times are overlaid. But let's have a look at the race details. This is the 3rd round of the season. 24 laps. It's a long way around here at Oulton Park, and critically an open setup as always here in the Grand Prix Legends series. Obviously, with this being a Grand Prix thoroughbred machine, it has a lot of adjustment, and you're going to need to use all of those tricks in the setup box today, because this circuit is, as I say, super bumpy and very much undulating as well. 17 incidents is the limit before you get a penalty. At 25 and you will be disqualified. But as always with these fragile Grand Prix machines, usually you will find your car in a mangled mess before reaching those limits. So, well, let's see who is going to be setting the early pace here. We're using the old school layout here at Oulton Park, aren't we, Ryan? No chicanes on the back part of the circuit, no Hislop chicane, no Britain chicane. And that means going into Knickerbrook, it is super, super fast.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to bring that up as well. Yeah, that section, Knickerbrook, you're carrying so much speed that it's one of those corners you're just going to have to hold your breath, especially with this Lotus 49, and hope for the best. But at the moment, in qualifying, it's Rene Lopez currently holding the pole position, but as Mick Clary is coming around the final corner, I don't think that will be the case for long.
Let's see what Quick Mick can do then. A 121.406. Wow, that is fast. Goodness me, that is so quick. Rob Olenek missing out on pole position by 21 thousandths of a second at this point. Tyler over a second in arrears in 3rd spot. Rene Lopez 1.1 seconds in arrears. But, I would imagine, Ryan, that the drivers, most of them will go quicker on the 2nd lap once they got a bit of tyre temperature.
Yeah, it always seems to be the case as well with at the moment, especially with this car, that the 1st lap's not always the fastest, and the 2nd lap's seems to be the quickest one. So don't be surprised if you see Rene Lopez going quicker at the end of his 2nd lap. He's currently 4th at the moment, just behind Bill Tyler. But that was amazing. Claridge and Olenek nearly a second, basically a second ahead of the rest of the pack.
So here comes Rene Lopez then through Lodge Corner, under Deer Leap, and then over the line. Can he improve? No, does not improve at all. In fact, much slower on his 2nd time around. Marco Kika goes to 8th position on the grid. Chris Murakami in 9th. And Dave Price, what can he do in the number 4 car? The yellow machine with the black stripe up the middle, a 122.581. Dave Price goes to 5th. So actually, they've made me sound silly there, Ryan, because I thought they were going to go quicker on the 2nd time around, but not so this time.
Yeah, and I thought they would have went quicker as well, but it looks like it seems as Laus Olsen goes up to 13th position.
Yep, good lap. Laus Olsen keeping us honest there as well. Let's see what Gwendolyn Old can do in the 16 machine. That lovely blue and, 2 different shades of blue there on that machine. Through Knickerbrook, up Clay Hill. This is an amazing section. Very, very bumpy, deceptively bumpy. The car is just lifting the revs up and down. You've got to try and tame it with the throttle, tame it with the gear changes, round through Druids. Not the same as Brands Hatch, of course. Over down towards Lodge Corner, and then hard on the brakes. Get it down to 2nd gear. Tuck it into the apex, neat and tidy. Very nice from Gwendolyn. Up through Deer Leap then. Whoosh, super, super quick. The car just lifts off again. 123.784. Where does Gwendolyn go? Does not improve. Stays at 15th position. So let's see, we get Antonio Reese over the line in the number 6 machine. Riding on board there, you see the iconic red steering wheel of the Lotus 49 with the triangular badge in the middle there of the great factory. Lotus now based in Hethel, but used to be in London, in 7 Tottenham Lane. Now, does Antonio improve? No, I think he's going round for a practice lap, Ryan.
Yeah, it looks like it. And most of these drivers seem to be going round for a practice lap, or either just using the rest of the session to maybe do a practice start.
Indeed, of course, yes, the drivers can elect to do that. Very handy, actually, to get as many of those practice starts in as you can, because, well, it's going to be very, very busy at the start here. We're going to have drivers all the way back around Deer Leap. We've got a big field today, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be busy here, Ryan. And of course, at Oulton Park, overtaking opportunities are not aplenty here at all.
Yeah, there's not really that many overtaking places. The only places I can think of is Turn 1, Turn 8, Cascades, and Turn 4 as well, Island Bend, and Turn 10 and Turn 16. But apart from that, all passing opportunities are pretty limited.
Indeed, yep. So it's going to be, I think this is going to be a race of attrition. Who can basically avoid the mistakes, because if you make a mistake here, you will be punished. As you can see, there is barriers waiting to grab your car if you even just so much as step off the line. This is a proper driver's circuit here at Oulton Park, and revered by so many drivers. So as the qualifying session starts to tick down, it looks like it's going to be Mick Claridge on pole position. Rob Olenek missing out just, but will start on the front row of the grid. Let's get a look at how the full grid lineup looks then. Mick Claridge confirmed then, a 121.407, confirms him on pole alongside Rob Olenek. Row 2 sees Roman Pawlowski and Bill Tyler. Row 3 will be Rennie Lopez and Dave Price. Row 4, Gary Teal and Ivan Hernandez. And row 5 will be Topi Cortinemi and Antonio Rees.
Yep, starting at 11th was Marco Kika, alongside him was Chris Marikami with Lars Dawson in 13th. 14th is going to Yuri Geisen with Gwendolyn Old in 15th. Dave Shefford in 16th. Jack Olstad in 17th with Eric Lyko in 18th. Emmanuel Pereira in 19th. And the last driver to set a time was John Olsen with Michael R. Cook round out the grid in 21st.
Okay, so 21 runners here today at Oulton Park. We have a split, so this is the top split. This is the best drivers in this championship, and Mick Claridge, the championship leader, sits on pole position in the number 1 machine. The lights are being prepared, finger on the button, the drivers poised, ready for 24 laps of this Oulton Park venue. Just waiting for our last couple of drivers to take to the grid, and we will be ready to go. What can Ovi Trangarade do? I think, Ryan, he's due a win. What do you think?
It's possible. I mean, he's one to keep an eye on, and I think, don't rule him out.
Definitely not. Looks like we've got our last couple of drivers now. Here we go. The lights are prepared. The revs rise. The Cosworth DFV sing, ready to get let loose, and we are go here at Oulton Park for round 3 of the Grand Prix Legend Series, and it is a rocket start from Quick Mick Claridge. Ovi Trangarade bogs down slightly. Oh goodness me, that's a big one. I think that might have been Pereira. We'll try and get a confirmation on who that was in a moment. But whoa, we've got a spinner right in the middle of Cascades. That's not where you want to go off. But it's a good start from Mick Claridge, and Ovi Trangarade desperate trying to get through. We've got Murakami with a problem off at the back as well. Oh, it's all going on, Ryan.
Yeah, we're only halfway around turn 1 and it all kicked off. But at the moment, Quick Mick Claridge is currently leading at the moment. But Rob Olenek is keeping touch with him.
Indeed, Rob Olenek. I said Ovi Trangarade, my apologies. Rob Olenek in second spot. I'm getting confused with the patterned cars that they have as well. Never mind. Rob Olenek in second position. Mick Claridge in the lead right now. And, well, can anybody stop Mick Claridge? He's been imperious so far this season, winning at Monza on the combined layout, and also winning last week as well, and doing a grand job so far here at Oulton Park. But you've got to take it patient, don't you, Ryan? Because when these tyres are cold, it can be a real handful, this car.
Yeah, it can be, and that's the thing with the car as well. You can't just, it's not like a high downforce car, you can't just wrestle it and throw it into every corner. You've got to be really smooth and be precise. And at the moment, that's what McLaren and Rob Ollenick are. They're pretty much meisters of this car and know how to drive it.
Yeah, you can. So let's get a replay of what happened to Hernandez, currently sitting in 21st position. But let's see what happened to that car at the start. So coming into turn 1 on the brakes, very, very busy, as you can see, cars everywhere, and catches the curb on the inside, and that just kicks him into a little bit of a rallycross jump. And we go to Murakami now. There he is in the number 5 machine with the kind of red and white pattern there. Oh, now I think, Ryan, he's got away without damage there.
Yeah, he got away with it. Yeah, he's lost his front.
Oh, now I want. Okay, so Antonio Reese has had a problem. That's coming through to the back about Clay Hill. What has happened to him? Chris Murakami's obviously had another incident where he's lost his nose cone. So let's see what happened to Antonio Reese. Yes, that is just a typical cold tyre. When you come over the top of Clay Hill there, there's a huge, it's actually almost a jump. And the cars get very, very light and just no grip. And round he went. Very, very easy to do there, particularly in the heat of battle. So, just what we thought, Ryan. Very, very fraught here at the beginning of this race. So, this is the battle for P5. Rennie Lopez holding off Dave Price and Cortinemi, but with Kika, Geisen and Teal all at the back there. Got a big freight train behind.
Yep, absolutely. And they say the Jarno Trulli was famous for making a train, but in this case it's the Lopez train.
Indeed, the Trulli train. I forgot about that one. I have to say, big props to Dave Price, who's got his own sort of custom livery there in the theme of the Yamaha Speed Block colours, the Kenny Roberts colours. I have to say, big respect for that, representing the two-wheeled style. Of course, here at Oulton Park was home to the transatlantic match races as well, where Freddie Spencer made his fame. But riding on board with Dave Price, giving you an idea of just how smooth you have to be. You have to be smooth like Jim Clark around here at Oulton Park. And actually, it's Oulton Park was one of the very few remaining onboard footages of Jim Clark driving is here at Oulton Park at the wheel of a Lotus, of course. So here you really have to channel your inner Jim Clark, be as smooth and as delicate with your inputs, and this car will thank you for it.
Yep, absolutely. It's from the laps I've done with this car, you've got to be really smooth, and I think this car rewards smoothness over aggressiveness. And at the moment, Dave Price is doing a good job at the moment in P6.
So we go back to our leader then, Mick Claridge, and he's really starting to stretch it now. Rob Ollenick struggling to keep his hand intact, to keep in touch with Mick Claridge, but there's not really an awful lot of time to get any kind of draft benefit there over the straight. You're more trying to just keep the car in a straight line because it's just so bumpy over the crest there. But up Clay Hill they go, up to about 4th gear, maybe clicking 5th initially, down a couple of gears and then flick it into Druid's corner. So tricky, but Ollenick's right there, keeping Mick Claridge honest. But goodness me, Ryan, look at the gap they've pulled after 4 laps. They've pulled nearly 7 seconds on Bill Tyler.
Yeah, I was about to say that as well. These guys are pretty much just checked out, and it's pretty much they're just scrapping amongst themselves as Rob Ollenick puts in the fastest lap of the race. But yeah, I have to say, Bill Tyler, he's having a great race in fair, but these guys are just pretty much pounced, and has okay. Had an incident.
Yep, you just saw him go around the timing screen there. When you see someone at the top of the timing screen when they're not going to be there, that's never good. What has happened to Eric Leukel? We're going to get a look now at what's happened to him. He's in pit lane. He's had to take a tow back to pit lane. So there's obviously been a pretty serious incident for Eric. Here it goes then. Oh, now there you go. It is, now you might think, how has he crashed in a straight line? I can assure you, dear viewer, that it is so bumpy and the car goes so light over here. Watch the suspension arm here. This is a great angle here from Dougie Beard. Thanks to our producer, Sean Ambrose. Look at this, over the crest, and it just runs out of travel and it gets into a wobble and boof, off he goes. That is how difficult this car is around this circuit.
Yep, and that's the thing with this car as well, especially going over like high crests, if you like, or jumps. You get a bit of a little bit of airborne as well, and basically if you get it out of control, you've got no chance of saving it.
No, definitely not. So this is an intriguing battle at the front here now. It looks like Claridge has just, well, he's just answered the question there. 0.4 of a second quicker on that lap after Olenek setting the fastest lap of the race. But these guys are going to trade quick laps because with the fuel burning, this car, this Cosworth DFV V8 engine, it burns fuel at an incredible rate. And this car only weighs about the same as a Caterham 7, just over 500 kilograms. So if you can imagine, if it's burning off huge amounts of race fuel every single lap, it just gets lighter and lighter and just comes alive throughout the race. So watch those lap times tumble as we progress. And look at that! Look at that! That is Rob Olenek, one of our fastest drivers. He's having to put in about, what, 40 degrees of steering lock there to keep the car straight?
Yeah, sounds about right. And at the moment he's getting some sideways again. Oh, that's what I was talking about earlier.
I'm glad I had my mic shut there, Ryan. I'll just say that. Oh my goodness me. Oh, but this is a brilliant camera angle here on the shoulder of Rob Olenek, and you can just see he's trying to be smooth, but I think it's also a great example of how hard he's pushing, because he is using every last bit of braking room. Just when he's going down the gearbox, that just gets a little wiggle on the steering wheel. Looking here into turn one, into Old Hall Corner, a real cambered bend here, and then down the hill, and then you've got to try and get the car reeled in and turned in. This is a proper challenge. So back to P5 then. Rennie Lopez holding off Emmy, with Kika there just in third place with the red helmet and the white and blue car just at the back of shot there. But Rennie Lopez holding a nice defensive line there through Cascades and over towards Shell Oil's hairpin.
Yep, and apparently Robert Pawlowski just got by not too long ago either, so he's pretty much got by and just pulled away. So he's left Lopez and the rest of this pack to scrap amongst themselves.
Indeed, goodness me, we're already at 1/3 distance. This is going by quickly here at Oulton Park. But as you say, Ryan, Roman Pawlowski, as soon as he could get free, he's been able to unleash what his pace really is. But Bill Tyler at the moment, and wonder if he will maybe get some attention from Roman Pawlowski pretty soon for that last spot on the podium. But still the gap hovers around a second between Mick Claridge and Rob Olenek.
Yeah, so it looks like Claridge and Olenek are evenly matched for pace, but at the moment riding on board with Bill Tyler as well with from favourite shop Peter.
Oh, now.
Yeah, looking back up at the front of Mick Claridge as well. Actually, my bad.
Not a problem. This is well, the first Cosworth DFV cam of 2021. It's a good omen, Ryan.
Yeah, I was going to say it must be a sign when this camera angle comes up, because every time I see it, I just instantly think how happy you are.
Indeed, I've got a big smile on my face right now. This legendary engine, commissioned by Walter Hayes of the Ford Motor Company to go in the back of Jim Clark's Lotus 49 and Graham Hill's Lotus 49, an amazing engine which won so many Grand Prix in its lifetime. Was only really ever actually unseated by the unbelievable grenades that were turbo engines. So back we go then to this amazing battle here. Rennie Lopez having to go very defensive. Now, surely to goodness, Miko Kika's not going to have a go into Knickerbrook. That would be gutsy, shall we say, Ryan?
Yeah, very. And I don't think he was going to go for a move though. I think he was just showing Corton Emmy. He was just showing that he's there and not doing anything silly. It looks like Corton Emmy was going to go for a move up the inside into the final corner.
Oh, lovely manoeuvre there on the brakes. You've got a reasonable length of braking zone there, and Corton Emmy in the, well, we call that the flying Tic Tac. That's like an orange and green Tic Tac box, that car. I like that paint scheme. That's cool. Almost like a Mazda 787B. But he goes through. That was a wonderfully clean move. Oh, what have you seen, Ryan?
Oh, there's someone off in the background there.
Was Kika?
That was Kika.
Oh, Kika has gone off. Let's have a look and see what happened. Coming down into Old Hall. Marco Kika hard on the brakes, a little bit of a bump on the inside. Does he? Oh, so he didn't get much of a bump, but that just set the car off, and round he went. This is going to give a better impression now, viewers. We're on board now with Marco Kika. Where does he get the bump? Ah, yes, just tucks a wheel inside, and oh, he's round. He tries to catch it, and there wasn't much to do. Now, did he make contact with the wall? He did not. He avoided it. That's good. Okay, well, Finnair, that's a good sponsor to have, Ryan. There's certainly a few points where he gets some Finnair here today at Oulton Park.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, Marco Kika putting that good Finnish car control to good use as well.
Indeed, I think any other nationality would have been in the wall there, but oh, Murakami fighting back. Now this is our wounded soldiers here. You see Chris Murakami with a little bit of, well, he's lost his whole entire front nose cone, so he'll be getting chilly feet there on the 2nd of January without a nose cone there. As well, he's trying to hunt down Ulstad in the number 9 machine with the black helmet there and white nose cone. And Murakami, it's been a good start to the season so far, but he'll be desperately trying to just get out of here with some points after that first lap incident.
Yeah, pretty much is right on board for him now, and yeah, amazingly, considering he's not got a front nose, it's still relatively quick at the moment, and it looks like he's got a run in Ulstad heading down to this fast left-hander, and it's Ulstad runs wide. Oh,
and it goes, well, round the outside at Shell Oils. This would be something. He's going to try and do it. He's going around the outside, around the karting line. Oh, here comes Murakami, and he's made it stick. What a move. Well, we know Chris Murakami likes to go for a bold manoeuvre, and that certainly qualifies there. Up the inside at Island Bend and around the outside at Shell Oils. Well, we know that Colin Chapman, his ethos for design, and of course the designer of this car, his ethos was add lightness. Well, maybe Chris Murakami has taken that a bit too far by removing the front nose cone. We certainly reduced the weight of the car anyway.
Yeah, amazingly, considering he's got no front nose, he managed to carry enough momentum on one side to pull the move off, and it looks like we've got a battle for P11 as well with Emmanuel Pereira.
Yeah, big lock up there for Pereira. You just saw that huge puff of smoke that's just pressing a little bit too much brake pressure, and those brakes, those Girling brakes, just lock up. They are very, very primitive. They are of the period, shall we say, 1967 brakes. They are not quite 2021 brakes, that is for sure. So the number 17 of Shepherd trying to hang on to Pereira, and clearly Pereira is pushing after that little lock up there into the final corner at Lodge. But here in the midfield, it never gets any less frantic.
Yeah, you might have good racing up at the front, but also in the mid-pack as well. You've always got great battles going on at the moment, just as proven here. And Pereira's going away, but Shepherd is still under a little bit of pressure from John Olsen and Chris Murakami.
Indeed, yeah, Murakami trying his best to get himself back up the pack and try and just gather some points up. But meanwhile, back at the front, Mick Claridge is just starting to really turn the screw a little bit. He's now over 2 seconds from Rob Olenek, so this is just classic Mick Claridge, how he just puts on a clinic. Once he gets out front, he can just run those consistent laps, and really this car is so alive, it's so twitchy, it's so fickle that it's one of the hardest cars on the iRacing service to run consistent laps, because it's always got a surprise up its sleeve for you. But Mick Claridge doing an incredible job right now at this beautiful Oulton Park venue. Do you know, Ryan, this is the only venue where a four-wheel drive car has ever won a Formula 1 race. It was Stirling Moss in a Ferguson.
I never knew that. I did hear something about that, but I wasn't sure if it was 100% true, but that's pretty fascinating.
I always thought that Ferguson was a tractor. Maybe Massey Ferguson. I mean, Stirling Moss was quick, but to win a Formula 1 race in a tractor, that would be very impressive, wouldn't it, as well? But tell you what, it looks like Mick Claridge has got four-wheel drive right now, because he just can't imagine the smoothness here. And I guess, Ryan, that is just how specialised and how particular his technique is to this car.
Yeah, and Mick Claridge again just putting on a good performance at the moment, and he's this. I've said it before, but he's just a maestro in this car in this series, and he's got so much experience. And again, he's putting on a great drive, and he is about 2.3 seconds ahead of Oulton now, who just can't keep the pace with him.
No, he can't. But I guess to give a bit of perspective, Rob Olenek running the number 2 car with the SO put a tiger in your tank paint scheme there. He's got 18 seconds back to Bill Tyler, the 3rd seat, and 25 seconds back to Roman Pawlowski. So it's not as if he's a slouch here, Ryan. He's putting in any other race, he would be absolutely dominating.
Yeah, and hats off to Bill Tyler as well, putting on a great performance, and he's 5 seconds ahead, or 6 seconds now ahead of Roman Pawlowski, I think. And yeah, Bill Tyler has been improving race by race, and at the moment it's probably his best performance of the season so far.
Yeah, let's go back to P4. We've got Cortinemi, Pawlowski and Lopez now locked in. Well, let's just say now locked in, still locked in a little bit of a battle. So Cortinemi, after that wonderful move, a beautifully precise move into this corner coming up now, into Lodge Corner, hasn't quite been able to stretch away. And look at Roman Pawlowski in the number 7 machine there running a paint scheme that warms my heart. The classic Team Lotus British racing green with yellow stripe up the middle. That is just, that's nostalgia. I mean, for us Scots, of course, Ryan, that gives us memories of the great Jim Clark.
Absolutely, and wasn't Roman Pawlowski in front of this battle at one point and pulled away? I'm not sure if he made a mistake or not.
I think you're correct. Yes, in fact, absolutely you're correct. I think he was in 4th, and he has made a mistake somewhere, and that's dropped him behind Cortinemi. So yes, well spotted indeed. I'm too busy with my rose-tinted spectacles on, and you're watching the action, right? So lap 14 of this race, 10 to go here at Oulton Park, and these Lotus 49s, they devour this circuit. Whoa, huge moment! Oh my word! Francois Delacour-esque there. Clip that. Roman Pawlowski. Oh my word! Let's have a look at this. That was the blow off. Oh goodness, we'll come back to it, folks. Don't worry. So here's where it all started. Okay, we're past it now. So Roman Pawlowski coming through to Druid, and he's got, oh goodness, they both get too wide, and just about. So Roman Pawlowski's hung on to 2 massive moments there, but particularly the moment there coming into Knickerbrook. Wow, what a moment. Clip that one. That's one for the highlight reel.
Yeah, I'm amazed at Pawlowski. Is that Lopez?
Oh, so that was Lopez, who's just been off. He's had another problem at coming down into Cascades. So let's see what happened to Rene Lopez then. Down into Cascade. Oh, loses it on the brakes. So actually just locks up just as he's going down the gearbox, down on the brakes. It just snaps on him. These cars, they are vicious, Ryan. They don't let you away. They don't swell your ego, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rene Lopez having a bit of a, as I like to call it, a Steve Soper moment.
A Steve Soper moment. You'll have to enlighten me. Does that mean he's crashing into a Scotsman?
No. When Steve Soper ran wide in 1993 and they ran into a tyre barrier.
Ah, I see. He did have quite a lot of moments, did Steve? So let's look at Yuri Geisen then, in this wonderful pink and white machine in the number 11 car. Currently holding down 8th position. It's been a solid run so far for Yuri. A little bit of battle scars at the front of the car there, but nothing too much to be concerned about. But he's got the attention of Laust Olsen in the number 14 machine, just at the back of shot there in that yellow and blue car. But wow, I'm still getting over that moment from Roman Pawlowski to get it fully 45 degrees sideways opposite lock through through Knickerbrook. That's one for the highlight reel. It must be.
Yeah, absolutely. That was basically car control that we'd probably see in a rally car, and amazingly he managed to keep hold of that and stop the car spinning. So fair play to him. But looking at Yuri Geisen as well, currently in 8th position at the moment, and he's just been slowly getting through the field while other people have issues. And right behind him, I think it's catching him slowly, is Lars Olsen.
Indeed, yeah, just making sure he's there. So you can see the cars. It's amazing when they come over the crest there down towards Knickerbrook. They are just wandering all over the road. It's nearly impossible to keep the cars on the straight and narrow there. They just want to bump and weave all over the place. It's one thing that I noticed when doing a few preparation laps this morning, Ryan, was my arms were killing me afterwards, because you're having to really, it's like holding the reins of a bull. It's trying to hang on to this car. But as we see, we're going back now to Pereira in 11th position, with Shepherd in the number 17 car behind, and Emmanuel Pereira in his beloved flying fruit pastel lolly.
Yep, absolutely. And I have to say, that's probably one of my favourite liveries in the series. It just looks, it's just something different. Shepherd's going.
Oh my! Not where you want to go. That's pretty fast through there. So Shepherd has to back out of it. Let's get a look then at what happened to Shepherd. Whoa! Loses it on the way in. Goes for the full Francois Delacour opposite lock, and I mean, okay, it was a mistake to begin with, Ryan, but I guess the whole point of mistakes, it's all about how you recover from them, and to not have that car go spearing into the wall, that was impressive.
It was, and I'm amazed that he didn't even run into the back of Pereira, and he was so close to making contact, but Pereira managed to just have enough of a gap that they didn't make contact.
Indeed, we're going to look at the battle for P6, and this is Roman Pawlowski, Mr. Oversteer himself, holding off the recovering Marco Kika. Remember, Kika had a little bit of an issue earlier on at Old Hall Corner, which has caught out a lot of the drivers. It's quite cambered. It kind of goes positive camber and then negative camber straight away, so the car gets quite unsettled through there. Brilliant camera shot, love that, seeing them all fly through. But Roman Pawlowski running the number 7 in 6th position as it stands. Got Gary Teal up ahead, but got to give a shout out to Bill Tyler, Ryan, because he's had quite a bit of a lonely race, and that's not an easy position to be in. It's hard to keep the concentration, to keep moving, but he's been running such steady pace there. Best lap of 122.659, holding down a really impressive 3rd place, and also big props, he's running a GSRC sticker too.
Yeah, it must be the GSR sticker giving him over the lock. But at the moment, he's, like you say, he's having a great job. A great race, sorry, and he had a great qualifying, and he's topping it off with a good run at the moment in the race. So, in 3rd position at the moment, and Mick Claridge as well, just put in another fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, Mick Claridge really into a rhythm now, and we see it so many times, don't we, Ryan? Once Mick Claridge gets in that groove, it's impossible to bring it out of him. He's like a human Skeletric car. You know, once he's in the slot, he can just spin round and round and round until you ask him to stop. It is just extraordinary, his metronomic consistency, almost Jorge Lorenzo-esque from MotoGP. But I mean, Rob Olenek, he's been so impressive, and for Rob, once Mick was a couple of seconds up the road, he's just controlled that gap and just runs smooth. He knows he's got a big margin behind, so doesn't need to take any chances. And Mick has just been imperious. 6 laps to go, just about to be 5 to go at the stripe. And Roman Pawlowski's had another moment. He's not hung on to that one though. What happened here, Ryan?
Yeah, just about to look at the replay now, and it looks like he's coming through the fast left-hander, and he just missed the apex slightly and just got off the racing line and lost grip, and unfortunately lost the rear, but manages to get going again.
Well, there's certainly going to be some brilliant still shots anyway of Roman Pawlowski giving it full opposite lock everywhere. Fantastic stuff, of course. Roman, we see him running in lots of our classic series here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Don't forget, we have Camel GT coming up at 12 p.m. Eastern. Today, see some Audi 90 GTO IMSA machines and some Nissan GTP cars going for it. It's quite a spectacle. And also tomorrow, tune in at 11:30 a.m. Eastern for the Lotus 79 Grand Prix series. And that is such a treat indeed. Let's go back to P4 and Courtenay. Wow. Look at that. Now, I presume he has a Scandinavian passport, Ryan, because that was unbelievable oversteer there around Cascades from Courtenay there. Do you think, was that on request? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, but Courtenay managed to hold that. Yeah, that was a great save, and yeah, is your voice okay, Peter?
Well, do you know, I was certainly panicking there, but I think the last person who was panicking there was Topi Courtenay, the Finn. He just looked like, he's like, oh, oversteer, yeah, no problem. This is very, very comfortable with this, no problem. Just sliding it around. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Really nice. We see the pace at the front, just not letting go. Mick Claridge going to be 3 wins on the bounce. And interesting in his post-race interview last week, Ryan, interesting after the first week of the season, he said he wasn't sure if he was going to make all the rounds. And then last week he thought, well, maybe I will. What's he going to say to us today with 3 wins on the bounce with a championship? Well, certainly a good start to the championship. Maybe he might be making other compromises to try and make sure he's here for every round to get this championship.
Yeah, you never know. He said that he's got some real life stuff going on at the moment, but especially he's doing it race by race. So, but you never know with Mick Claridge. You never know. He'll try and make every round. Or I think don't be surprised if you see him in it every round. Trying to challenge for the championship. But the battle for P4 is still close at the moment with the Courtenay and Gary Teal.
Indeed. So we're going to ride on board with Gary Teal here. The night black helmet, and that's his wonderful view of Lotus 49 bright red steering wheel down through Knickerbrook, bouncing over the curbs there. And normally the drivers in modern day Oulton Park would slow right down to first gear and go through the Steve Hislop chicane there, but straight through in the old-fashioned style over the crest here. Whoa, just handling that. Look at the revs just rising up, down towards Lodge Corner, and then in towards Dearly. It's just such a superb circuit here at Oulton Park. One of the very best in the world. And this is the joy of sim racing, isn't it, Ryan? Because it's even if you owned a Lotus 49, how nice would that be, and you took it to Oulton Park, you'd probably, I would say, dither around at 20 miles an hour, but to be able to drive these cars flat out on this amazing circuit and this amazing layout, this is only something you could get nowadays in the sim racing world.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's fine. These cars, they might not be racing in real life today, but they're still kind of cool cars to have, and it's pretty even more cool that we can race them on iRacing.
Indeed, yeah. Well, we must give huge props to the iRacing software team. It is an incredible piece of technology that they have created, which has really been a huge part of keeping motorsport alive over the last 12 months. And now mistake from Courtenay. He's got into a wiggle now. He just about gets away with it, just about. Now Courtenay made a big error there, and Gary Teal could have got by, but actually Gary decided to back out of it. There wasn't quite enough room to make it through, but Gary Teal, with 2 laps to go, he's going to know that he's got Courtenay rattled, if it's possible to do such a thing to a Finn.
Also, they have to keep an eye on the back of them as well, because closing up on them quickly, closing them quickly is Marco Kika.
Okay, so Finn Air, Marco Kika coming onto the back. There he is, there with the red helmet and the white and blue number 10 machine, and he probably would have been close enough to see that big moment there from Courtenay, so that will give him a little bit of extra motivation if it were required. Through they go. We're on to the penultimate lap now. So Mick Claridge is already, goodness me, he's already up at Lodge Corner. And he's about to take the white flag. So going on to his last lap of the race, but we've got a long wait until we see Bill Tyler come through in third. And still, Mick Claridge putting in fastest laps of the race. But Cortinemi recovered well from that mistake, Ryan. He's pulled out 5 or 6 car lengths here.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that mistake might have had him rattled, but at the moment he's managed to regroup himself and managed to pull away and leave Gary Teal in the dust and pretty much leave Gary Teal in under attack from Marco Kika.
Yep, if you look up the word rattled in an English to Finnish translation dictionary, you will just see a blank space because it's impossible for a Finn to be rattled. They're so ice cool with their temperament. And Cortinemi, in fact, it's almost as if that mistake has motivated him. Look at him go now, really opening up the gap. Onto the final lap they go, but Mick Claridge should be coming around to take the checkered flag shortly. Here he comes then through Clay Hill for the final time up towards Druids. This has been another drive straight out of the Champions textbook. Mick Claridge, the number 1, comes down towards Lodge Corner for the final time, down the gearbox, turns the car into Deer Leap. Mick Claridge, it's 3 in a row for Quick Mick here in the Grand Prix Legends Series. He takes the win at Oulton Park with a big skid over the line. Wonderful stuff. As Rob Olenek takes a very, very strong second position drive, kept Mick Claridge honest the whole way, and another load of points as Bill Tyler comes through to the final section now to hopefully come through in third spot.
Yeah.
So Bill comes through to the final corner, Lodge, and will claim a very, very strong podium indeed. Didn't have the pace of the front 2 guys, but did what he needed to do. Another solid load of points there for Bill Tyler. Let's go back to 4th place then. And Cortinemi's going to keep it. He does just about. Keeps it a big, 360. Oh, and Marco Kika comes in behind there as well. Pawlowski, over the jump as well. With Yuri Geisen not involved in any of these sorts of childish caper. No. So Laust Olsen comes home in 9th. Rennie Lopez 10th. Now, the battle for P11. I tell you what, this has been a good recovery drive from Chris Murakami after an error on lap 1, taking damage to get to 11th. That's a good load of points, good damage limitation. We're going to take a very short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back with post-race interviews and results. Welcome back to Little Birdworth, Cheshire and Oulton Park, where Mick Claridge has just put on another trademark clinic. 3 wins in a row for the Great Britain here in the Grand Prix Legends series. Rob Olenek kept him honest all the way there, less than 5 seconds from Mick at the flag. A great drive from the American. Bill Tyler finished in third, 4 seconds up the road from Topi Kortenemi, who recovered from that enormous moment at Clay Hill to just edge out Gary Teal, with Marco Kika recovering to 6th after an earlier spin. Yuri Geisen was 7th, a solid drive from the number 11, with Laus Olsen 8th, Rennie Lopez 9th, and Chris Murakami actually classified in 10th position, a brilliant drive after a mistake on lap 1.
Yep, finishing in 11th was Emmanuel Pereira with Dave Shepherd in 12th, with Gwendol and Old in 13th. Roman Papskowski finishing in 14th after a bit of a mistake-ridden second half of the race. And then, yeah, the retirements from the race were John Olsen 16th with 17th, Ivan Hernandez, Dave Price in 18th, 19th, Eric Lyko 20th, Michael Cook and Antonio Arias.
Indeed, so let's look at the final runners here. They're complete, 21 cars. So we have our winner joining us now in the commentary box, Quick Mick Claridge. Mick, normally I would say to you that looked easy, but it's never easy around Oulton Park, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's quite tough, to be honest with you. Even the back straight, you can't. Even when the tyres were warmed up there, I still couldn't quite have full power down the back straight there. It's pretty tough, this track.
It certainly is. I mean, it's so bumpy and undulating, isn't it? I mean, of course, here in the Grand Prix Legends series, we have an open setup formula. I mean, without giving away your magic playbook, I mean, what sort of things can you do to this car to try and tame it for those bumpier and more undulating circuits?
Well, no, I don't mind giving any secrets away. The setups on the forum anyway, what I used today. No, it's just, I mean, you can't run the car too stiff, obviously. You got to give it, I mean, even though the car moves around a lot on its springs, you still want to go with softer springs just to get over those bumps. But it really, honestly, it's just putting in the seat time and knowing where the bumps are, because like I said, down the back straight, you can't, I'd be surprised if anyone was flat out down the back straight, even in the cold weather. So you just have to know where the bumps are and you have to lift. You know, that's basically it, really. It doesn't really matter about the setup, what you're going to do with the car. It will jump around, and if you do, you know, hit full power on these bumps, it will just spin. You know, it's just got too much power for that.
It certainly does. I mean, we actually saw, you won't have seen with it clearing out at the front, but there was a number of drivers who effectively crashed in a straight line, and it's there you go. That's a great example of what it's about. Now, Mick, plans for the rest of the season? We're 3 wins on the bounce now. Are we going to see you throughout the year?
I'm probably going to miss next week now. I thought I was going to miss today and race next week, so I'll probably miss next week, but then I should be back for the entire season.
Great news. Fantastic stuff. And Mick, before we let you go and enjoy the win here, well, first of all, Happy New Year. And second of all, is anyone you'd like to give a shout out to here on GSRC?
Yeah, Happy New Year to everyone watching, and you guys as well, and all the guys in the Lotus 49 community. There's one guy that's just come back. I don't know if you guys, Sean might know him, Jack Olstad. He is one of the real old school Grand Prix Legends drivers. And I know he's been back for a couple of races now. He turned up at Monza. And he's talking about doing as many races as he can. But I'll tell you what, it is so good to see him back, because he's been away for so long, you know, and that's what happens sometimes, you know, you sort of, you know, you start sort of getting annoyed with a car. Well, I never have, but you know, some people do and they disappear, you know, so it's really good to see him back. So yeah, great to see Jack back.
Yes, this Lotus 49 is a fickle mistress, but we wouldn't want her any other way, would we?
No, not at all, mate.
Fantastic stuff. Mick, great to chat again, and congratulations on a 3rd win in the row.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
So that was Mick Claridge joining us, our winner, 3-time winner in a row, Ryan. Can anyone stop him?
Well, at the moment, the way he's going, I don't think he can, or no one can, but I think with him missing next week that he was talking about, I think we'll have, for the first time, we'll have a new winner in the series. So yeah, it gives other people a chance to try and catch Mick up in the championship.
It certainly will, and you can catch all of the action here in a week's time on the 9th of January, same time, 1:30 GMT, 8:30 AM Eastern, nice and bright and early. Start your Saturday morning with some Grand Prix Legends action. Myself and Ryan, double scotch, will be here to take you through all the action of round 4 of the championship. A huge thank you goes to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcasts, and you can see them listed here on your screen. And an additional thank you goes to June Lalonde, who provides all of our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her excellent work. A big thank you goes to Ryan, Sean and Dougie for all their expert work on today's broadcast. If you'd like to find out more about us here at the Global Sim Racing channel, including our upcoming races, you can find all that information at globalsimracingchannel.com, or check out social medias. We have Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Gram. When you're at the track, you can even represent GSRC by getting hold of some GSRC merchandise, and that's available at gsrc.storeenvy.com. Don't forget to head over to our YouTube page and hit the big red subscribe button as well, so you never miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing channel. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.